Raise your hand if you got laid off. So I will say, this is not the way I expected 2026 to start out. But here we are. This was my first post-grad job, and I'd been there for almost 2.5 years. And to be fair, I did work in HR, and usually HR is the first one to get cut, so I guess I'm not too surprised. But actually, I am kind of surprised because I was part of this like early careers rotational program, and usually when you're part of these programs, like you think you're safe. At least I thought I was safe because I was like, no way they're ever gonna like cut anyone from their early careers program. But here we are. I was supposed to like graduate the program this spring, so I like technically didn't have a role, so I didn't really understand what role they were eliminating, but I was like, okay, like that's fine, I guess. But the weirdest part was when they told me the news, I felt relieved. And it's so weird because you would think that when you lose your job, you just feel like your world is ending. I don't know what happened. It felt like I could breathe again. Like it felt like a pressure was taken off my shoulders. And to be fair, I think I kind of knew what I was doing wasn't what I wanted to do. So I wasn't like devastated because I felt like I was losing something that I absolutely loved. It definitely still was a weird feeling. Obviously, I did cry when it happened just because I was in shock and I was completely blindsided. Also, this happened right before the holidays. This happened 1 week before Christmas, so I already had known for a while. And like I said, I did cry when they told me, but I feel like it was more of the fear of the job market just being kind of bad right now rather than being sad that I was leaving this specific position. I feel like I'm talking about my experience right now, like very objectively, just like about how I was feeling. I'm not trying to say anything bad about the company at all. I learned a lot. I feel like I talk about this all the time on my account, but my dream is to move to LA, and I feel like now this gives me the push to finally make that change. But now I'm like, okay, what's holding me back now? Well, actually, there are a few things holding me back, but I feel like I'll make another video on that. Not having to work a 9 to 5 has been absolutely incredible, and I'm afraid that I'm getting a little too used to how nice it is, and kind of need a job ASAP because I'm getting way too used to not having to work. But what's been really nice about having all this extra time is now I just have more time to focus on all these creative things that I've really loved to do but haven't really had time while working a 9 to 5. I've always been super interested in UGC creation, like at a greater level, and I feel like now I have more time to focus on that and kind of explore that path. My plan definitely is to go back into corporate just because I feel like there's a lot more stability. Unless somehow something works out and my creative side can somehow sustain a lifestyle I want, that'd be absolutely incredible. But until then, I feel like jumping back into the corporate world is probably what's on my horizon. Not right away though. I feel like I'm not too much in a rush right now because I feel like this time between jobs is something that's so rare and I should really take advantage of it. It's been nice because I feel like I'm in a brand new chapter where I have so much freedom and autonomy to choose what I want to do with my life. So I guess for now, I just have way more time to make all these fun, silly little videos. So what else am I supposed to be doing? This really is exposure therapy, especially making a video like this. I'm like, ooh, kind of embarrassing, but also who cares? I guess stay tuned because I'm gonna have all the time in the world to make all these random videos and test my creative outlet, I guess. If you want to follow along my laid off diaries, my laid off era, my unemployment era, I'm trying to think of an alliteration with L, laid off life. And if you want to follow along my laid off life, I will take all the interactions I can get. It's kind of lonely when all my friends are working. I'll appreciate anything at this point. So see you in my next video. Bye.
Yeah, definitely the loss of jobs is affecting people in different ways. For a new hire, someone postgraduate, it doesn't seem like she has the burdens of children, a lot of bills, car payment, insurance. I'm just speculating here based on her reaction solely, but things have gotten accelerated pretty strong right now. Amazon just reported 16,000 shedding of jobs. Third round, actually, layoff, systematic firing, and hiring, very, very low. We're basically in a no hire, low fire economy that's still testing AI restructuring. A lot of corporations will say that they're not using AI, but they are flattening layers, especially at the middle level management level. And generative AI is basically a head count right now, even as corporations post record profits.
Well, never would I thought that this would have happened to me, but it finally happened, y'all. So I was just getting off of work, maybe like 25, 30, 40 minutes ago, when we had like an emergency meeting. It was just a quick meeting they added at 1 o'clock. Anytime a company adds like a last minute meeting, to me, especially my experience with this company I'm with now, it always means like something is going to happen. Either somebody's getting let go or a group of people are being let go or major changes are going to happen. So me and my provider were just in a car. I was about to drop her off. We decided to listen to the meeting together, of course. And just listening within like the first 5 minutes, we're like, yeah, they're laying us off. The meeting goes forward. They're letting us know how they're going to help us through the transition, the process, when our last day is going to be, so and so. And the whole time I'm thinking like, damn, like I've been seeing a lot of people on social media get laid off from their jobs. And I'm just like, I pray for everyone that's going through that and I hope to never experience that. Literally like yesterday, I was just like, I'm so grateful for my job. It's not perfect, but I appreciate it. It enables me to keep food where I live, a place over my head, stuff like that. And to go in just within 24 to 48 hours in a position where I'm going to be having to look for a job. I'm gonna have to think about bills, my rent, just car insurance, having insurance to get my medications. And like you try not to stress or worry yourself too much, but just like it's so unpredictable, especially in this economy. But I'm trying to be positive about it and be like, this is just God's way of directing me in a better path and in a better direction. Like, don't stress on it. And I did not plan on drinking this Friday, but
Yeah,
child.
so we have to admit here that America is basically, and its job market has entered into a really slow lane. Slow lane meaning low hiring, low firing, high uncertainty. Um, a lot of the those who are graduating from college right now are actually those are the people who are reporting how difficult it is to actually find a job because there are few seats out there and long job searches. Back in the day, I can attest to the fact that maybe one or two interviews and then a job offer. Now we're in the zone where you have a 7 or 8 interview cycle and still no job offer. So it raises a lot of frustration and uncertainty among newly graduated, candidates when they have to go to 6 or 7 rounds of interviews, which is really ridiculous.
They are not hiring Black people. I am running myself rampant trying to find a job that I am highly qualified for. I have the experience. I am a catch. It has never been this difficult. Excuse me? The years that I spent in customer service, the years that I spent doing clerical work, administrative work, and you mean to tell me that my Black ass can't find a job? I'm an artist, baby. I have to pay the bills some kind of way because I don't have a job. Of course, I'm finna be on here because you might as well help your dreams come true while you're unemployed. I'm convinced they're not hiring us Black women. They're not. Look, check the stats, bro. They're not hiring us. I'm to the point where I'm just like, man, I'm finna just check off that white box. I'm gonna check off that Native American. Yes, I'm a part of a tribe. Does that mean you're gonna hire me? Yes, I have a disability. Well, I'm a veteran. I don't know. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and we've actually heard from a lot of Black women, especially we've seen that in the federal government sector, which has shed almost 200 to 300,000 jobs in the space of a year. Here we are at the end of January, 2026, and the shedding of federal jobs has had a severe impact on minority communities, Black women, Hispanic, Latino communities, and we're seeing the effects of 1 year passing since the shedding of these different committees that went in and reduced various sectors of the federal government. But, if we look at the overall picture for 2025, there were only about 585,000 jobs that were created. So that we're looking at, less than 50,000 jobs per month that were created for the year of 2025. But then we look at 2024, where there were over 160,000 jobs per month that were being created. So there's that's almost like, a fourth drop as far as the reduction to a fourth of what 2024 was. We do accept the fact that, AI is replacing, especially middle managers. It's flattening a lot of layers. Corporations now, even though they're posting record profits, they're actually using AI to improve automation and reduce middle level managers. So if you're a middle level manager, try to be aware of what's actually happening in the sector where you work or your department. You want to be doing everything you can as far as skills and leverage to leverage up your skills, and that includes tightening the narrative around your job description, proof of business impact. You definitely want to be adding AI literacy to your overall CV, because that's definitely what they're looking for right now. If we take a look at some of the job losses, UPS 30,000, Intel, they're reducing from 100K down to possibly 70K. Verizon reported 10,000s of job losses. Dow, that's another story. Dow is going to be a huge impact in the area, especially the state of Texas, simply because of the dependency of Texas on Dow. And then we're looking at Target. A lot of retailers are simply looking at AI restructuring. And this is all while reporting record corporate profits. So, as far as, reduction of workforce, increase of record profits, what's really going on here? Obviously, the betterment of their employees is not paramount to their overall picture, and this just goes to show you that these companies are not for you. They are for shareholders, and titles don't protect you from layoffs at all, especially at the mid-management level. So definitely be protecting yourself. You want to do two things right now, which is to pay attention to your skill set. You definitely want to leverage up, tighten the narrative around your job title, around the skills that you have, improving that narrative around exactly what you do. And the proof of business impact is going to be very, very essential to your survival, whether it's with the company that you're with right now or with the company that you will be, if there is going to be a layoff, and hopefully not. But by all means, you should be, looking at, what's going to be out there for you. Impact doesn't necessarily mean that you're busy. Impact has a lot to do with building trust among your network. And now more than ever, the network that you have around you is going to be indicative of your net worth. So just remember, network is going to be indicative of your net worth going forward. Definitely own your own narrative when you're on the job. Performance is the most important thing, not necessarily visibility. And coworkers are your competition. So once you go back to work on, tomorrow, you want to make sure that you're using all of these tips to reevaluate exactly where you are as far as on the level of skill set and as far as leveraging your narrative for survival, because this is all about surviving in this very, very competitive job market. Just remember, we have entered into a low hire, low firing job market. And there's possibly going to be a lot more firing this year. But corporations are simply just testing the barometer right now as far as, what's going to be, as far as flattening different layers within their organization, primarily in the middle management area. And it's going to be a real suffocation on entry level. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.